you right now. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm waiting for the notification. And then I'm going to tag you. All right. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast. We have a great guest, a great couple of believers. I'm honored that you all would take time out of your busy schedule to have a conversation with us this afternoon. First of all, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
And may I, for Brother John and Sister Likesha, who came up in Newark and now in Delaware. Correct. Praise be to Allah. The first question we want to know is when, who made the first move? Who initiated the first attraction?
Oh, wow, brother. 32 years ago, I was working at a gas station in the great little city of Asbury Park, New Jersey. And my wife and a friend of hers came to the gas station to buy some cigarettes for their mother.
Okay.
And I, there's an, oh, you was by yourself?
I was by myself.
I thought you was with, okay. And what happened was she didn't have money, I think, to buy the cigarettes. And I kind of flirted with her and said, hey, well, if you don't got the money, I give you the cigarettes, you give me your number. And it kind of started like that, brother. She had a friend of hers that used to come to the gas station with her. And my coworker, we both liked both of them, but we both wanted my wife the most.
Okay.
And so at the gas station, we did, remember you do the odds, evens. And we did the odds and evens, and I won. And the rest is history. So we were together before I joined the nation. I actually joined the nation playing ball at the University of Delaware. I was at the campus of the University of Delaware, and that's where I joined the nation. But we were together 2 years before I joined the nation.
Okay, now praise be to Allah. Now, when you say playing ball, you mean basketball, football?
Basketball.
Okay. I like basketball. Do you play point guard or shooting guard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, sir. Beautiful. Okay, I didn't know that.
Sir.
Okay, yes, sir. All right. And so, Lakeisha, what made you accept our brother's moves? Maybe he was trying to show interest in you.
Well, he was cute. I thought he was he was fine, as we called it back then.
Yes, ma'am.
And he was real smooth with it, real smooth. And he was like a bad boy. He had a lot of edge to him.
Okay.
Okay, you play hard to get, but when I got back to the house with my best friend, I'm like, oh, I was excited. So I would purposely go that way to walk home so he could see me.
Okay. And my sister Miriam sends her greetings, and people are showing you all love. My next question was, what was you all's first date?
Was it Sissy Party or the movies?
I think it was the movies. I think it was the movies. Josh, it's so funny, Josh, because that time, when you're in the world, and I know as a brother joining the nation young, everything before Islam hit me almost as a blur, because I was just crazy. I was a savage. There's a book that came out a long time ago called From Niggas to Gods.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of like our relationship, but we were straight Negroes. And my mindset at the time was she was my girl. She's who I wanted. But at that time, the mind, we was just all over the place. And so, back in the day, that's the late 80s, early 90s. We trying to be fly. And I'm working at the gas station. We hollering at everything coming through there. And so I didn't become serious with her until Islam became serious to me. So, she knows more of the earlier times because I was just doing what brothers back then do. We see what we want, and as Negroes, we're going to do it the Negro way.
Yes, sir. Okay, my sister Naima sends the greetings, and my other sister Miriam says she loves that book. I'm assuming From Negroes to Gods.
Yes, sir.
Sister Lakeisha, how did your parents approve of Brother John?
Initially, Initially, no, because he's a few years older than me. And back then it made a big difference. I was a young teenager. So naturally it was like, no, he's too old. You know, they wanted someone exactly my age. So I got a lot of pushback. So I kept him a secret for a long time.
Did you lie to me about your age?
Oh, yeah.
She lied to me about her age too.
Oh,
I told my mom first. It was a while before I told my father. He didn't know until we was more serious. But my mom, I got a lot of pushback. But I knew she would love him once she met him. So in the beginning, no. She did not approve.
Yes, ma'am. And how did you feel about that, brother John?
In the beginning, beloved, I wasn't aware of that because we met the summer that I went to college. She was still in high school. So I went to college, and yeah, I guess it was a thing. What, you know, as I learned later, why you mess with this dude? He in college, you still in high school. You know, I'm a couple years older than her, and so again, it wasn't serious for me at that point because again, I'm in college. She was my quote unquote main girl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when I came home, I was in a little crew job. So when I came home from college, my team would let me know whoever was trying to holler at her while I was away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When I came home for spring break, I just took care of physical business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Spies posted up all over the city.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that. My next question is, who said I love you first?
I did.
Okay. And why did you say, like, how did you know that you loved her?
You know, brother, it's funny. I knew when I first met her. Again, when you're in the world, it's different. But I knew in the world that I wanted to be with her. Even though the world said, have other women. You know, and sometimes people don't understand it in the world. No, this is my girl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's something in me that says, no matter what this is my girl. Now, whatever I do as a Negro with others, they ain't got nothing to do with her. That's a sick way of thinking. And that was my thinking.
Yes, sir.
Before Islam. It didn't matter. I come home from college. If I hear somebody was trying to holler, and they got beat up.
Yes, sir.
Because this is my girl. And you know, they would put stuff in her. You know, John doing his thing in college.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. But this is my girl. And so I thank Allah we grew from that because could nothing nice have come out of that type of relationship when you Negroes. It never does.
Okay, beautiful.
I said I love you first because I meant it.
Hey, okay, yes, sir, Brother John. Now, Sister Likesha, I'm gonna go back to you, Brother John, come right to you, Sister Likesha. Brother John, how did you propose? How was the proposal? What was the setup?
Yes, sir. Well, Brother Josh, going to that, here I'm in college, being a Negro, you know, in school, just doing my thing. And Islam hits me like a bolt of lightning. Minister Farrakhan was on his Stop the Killing tour.
Okay.
I had heard of the minister only through hip hop. You know, Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, we getting high, smoking reefer, and you know, Farrakhan, come on, don't tell me that you understand till you hear the man. So
okay, yes, sir.
High, but that's in my brain. So when I hear Minister Farrakhan, I didn't have anything to go on but what happened in hip hop. He was the man. And so I went to see him and I called my mom at home and I said, Mom, you heard of Minister Farrakhan? And she was like, of course I heard of him. And I was upset because growing up where I was, it was nothing but 5%ers. There was no FOI. We didn't have MGT. They were there in the 70s, but I wasn't born. And so here I am coming into Islam and Minister Farrakhan is doing all these things. I knew nothing. So I was mad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I came to Islam and I never forget, Brother Josh, I brought my wife one time to the mosque. She was my girlfriend at the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And one of the brothers was like, "Assalamu alaikum, Brother John." He's like, "Who's this?" I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my girlfriend, Likesha." And he said, "Girlfriend? We don't believe in girlfriends." And we like froze. He was like, "Do you love her?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Okay, well, you know, you go ahead and make that happen." You know, so I came in a great Mars 35 in Wilmington, Delaware. They were a small study group at the time, but the love, the brotherhood was there. And so I knew I ended up quitting college after 3 years. I quit to help the nation in my hometown because there was no Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And of course, the language at the time, Josh, was, Brother John, you're too young. You still in college. She about to graduate high school. Y'all too young. But my argument was, okay, so you want us to go out and just fornicate for 10 years, go through 5, 10 bad relationships.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come back together at the age of 30 when we both beat up and then get married. You know, I never understood that logic when I joined the nation because I saw nothing but married couples all around. So I knew I'm in Islam. This is what I want to be. And when I came home that college, I went to the pawn shop, man. I got a ring that I could afford.
Yes, sir.
And she was in the room, brother. And I got down on my knee. I came in from soldiering, and I got down on the knee and I proposed to her. And I think in the bedroom, it broke down, but that's how it happened.
Praise be to Allah. And Sis Likesha, what made you accept him?
He was my man. There's no question. We had been together for some time, and we had gotten pregnant, you know, sooner than expected. And it was no question. It made sense. It made sense. It was the next best thing to do. So when
your mom say something? The phone call.
Oh, okay. Yes, let me back up a little bit. I told my mother I was pregnant through the bathroom door because I was afraid.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I waited till she went into the bathroom, and I told her I was pregnant, and she couldn't fly out of the bathroom naturally. That was my whole plan.
Yes, ma'am.
And she just started, oh, he's going to leave you. You think he's going to leave college? You know, she just started dropping seeds and trying to cast doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
So she was real panicked about that. So I remember telling, oh, they used to call him JB, by the way. He was JB back then.
Okay,
now
okay.
BJ.
So I got him on the phone, and I was crying. I was telling him what Mom was saying. He said, put her on the phone. Put her on the phone. I'm like, what you want to say to her? Just put her on the phone. And I handed her the phone, and I didn't hear her say a word. And occasionally, would come out of her mouth. But when she hung up the phone, she just says, you have a good man.
Okay, Brother John.
Because you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. So from how he explained it is how I remember it. I remember being very pregnant in my room, and he came in his suit and bow tie. I'm big as a house, sitting in a chair, fanning myself.
Yes, ma'am.
And I remember he just dropped down to one knee. The rest is history.
Okay, praise be to Allah. I just want to read through some of the comments. Sister Zaina says, hey, we're in here. She says, her mother looks bomb. Sister Pamela K says, Assalamu alaikum. Sister Nafisa just saying the love sign. Sister Sandra Staples, alhamdulillah. My sister Miriam, y'all are so cute. Enrico X, Assalamu alaikum gods. And then praise be to Allah. Excellent. My next question for you, Brother John, is how did you know that she was the one?
It's funny, bro. I knew, but you know, when again, growing from a Negro into a soldier, into a God.
Yes, sir.
Islam hit me so fast. I accepted. I knew I was born to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because when he hit me, I mean, I dropped everything. I mean, even on campus, I would go to basketball practice. They was calling me Farrakhan at practice.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to go into civil engineering, but the classes, I would always be like 10, 15 minutes late to practice because they were afternoon classes. And one of my basketball coach, one of the assistants, he brought me in the back and tried to literally get me change my major to fit basketball. And all that was going in my head was, man, the white man's the devil, like really. And I didn't want to be in college anymore because I felt, Brother Joshua, that being in college, it's strange. I was in college. I started a study group of the nation, but I used to call my wife and be like, this is not living. This is not real.
Yes,
the struggle is on the outside. Our people on the outside. I wanted to be home. I used to tell her, I can't wait to pay bills. Go into debt,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
in
Yes, sir.
college, this
Yes,
ain't
sir.
living. So I don't know why I felt like that. But at the same time, I had other girlfriends. And I asked Allah to help me with the decision. And he sure enough did, because there were girls, they were college educated, they were fine, everything we think we want.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But they didn't want Farrakhan.
Mm.
And when I came home, I didn't push it on anything. I introduced it. My wife came to the mosque in Newark, New Jersey, under Minister Kadir, and I never forget when he said, you know, how many do you want to join? Stand up. And I was in the back clapping as an FOI, and it was so packed, I couldn't see her stand, but I saw her come to the back with my cousin. You know, after you shake hands and go to the back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, Allah, there it is right there. And of course, I told her, I said, look, I can't change and fix the other girls that I messed over, but I got you. And one of the females was so bold, she didn't believe it. She didn't believe it. She came to my house in the summer because she was cool with my mother.
Yes, sir.
And my wife was sitting there. And she came in, very beautiful, very college educated, and she gonna test me. And I let her in, and she sat down next to my wife, and she was like, oh, okay, so this is Likesha. I was like, yeah, this is her. This is the sister I'm gonna marry. And she just kind of looked at my wife, and my wife, from the streets, beautiful, but she's not as refined. But she was a believer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it was that. And she kind of looked at me. I said, yes, we're getting married. This is my wife. So as the young ones say, swipe left.
Swipe left.
So she walked out that door. But I knew when she joined, that was a no-brainer. And I do want to share this. We had I won't go there. Our experience with Islam, with people who claimed Islam, was a perverted history. So when you grow up with people saying Assalamu alaikum, but they getting high, peace God, they said, we had a warped understanding. So naturally, when I said I was in the nation, my wife was like, really? Because her only introduction to Islam was from negative people, examples. They didn't walk the walk, not to cast aspersions. Right. So she didn't know what to think. My mother didn't know what to think. My mother would feed me pork on purpose.
Damn.
I couldn't take the car to the mosque, which was an hour away in Newark, New Jersey. And I would say to my mom, when I was a Negro, you didn't say anything, Here I am coming to Islam. I didn't raise you that way. And make a long story short, 7 years later, my mother became Sister Margaret X. And she's now Margaret Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah.
She's so strong in her Islam, everybody think she brought me. Nah. But I knew my wife was the one, Brother Josh, when she accepted, because that was what I needed, was a help me. And that's what Allah gave. He made it easy for me to cut everybody off because she was the only one that accepted. Now, who knows what would have happened if the other ones would accept it? Would have been a problem. But Allah didn't allow me to go through that. All the other ones had power over. That's all I needed to hear was something negative about the minister. That was it. Check, check, check.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, I'm coming right back to you, Sister Likesha. I just want to read some of the comments. Ning Tay X says, all praises to Allah. Jaslyn Joe Bailey says, Assalamu alaikum. Sister Pamela would like to know, I asked you this, Sister Likesha, how long have you all been married?
29 years this August.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Sister LaPria Young, how are you doing, Sister LaPria Young? Always good to see you tap in. I'm loving how real and transparent that this couple has. Black Islam love, praise God. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Sister Pam, come back to that. Boom, people are laughing, showing you all love. Kamir Mumin says, all praise be to Allah. Sandra Staples, alhamdulillah. Miriam, praise be to Allah, praise be to Allah, praise be to Allah. Teach, brother, history is beautiful. Y'all, Sister Pamela K says, y'all are adorable together. Okay, perfect. I just gotta ask this question. As an athlete, sir, I want to know. So you playing point guard? Who were you looking up to, like in your time period? Like, who was the point guard that was like that you were trying to be like?
Man, beginning it was Maurice Cheeks.
Okay.
Because I was always taught, even in high school, beloved, I had great scores. But my coach told me if I wanted to be on the court, play defense. So I was the type of point guard, Josh, where the first quarter, you're gonna make me look bad because I gotta learn you. I'm playing full court press defense
Yes, sir.
the whole game. So the first quarter, when you do it, I'm gonna look bad the first quarter, but I would always tell my coach, by the third quarter, I got him.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
I'm just gonna wear you down. And we had a full court like Louisville press all game.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I was the shortest one, had to stay in shape.
Okay.
And I would always say, yeah, you're gonna get me the first quarter, do your on on. But once I know you don't really got no left, once I know you always cross over here, by the fourth quarter, I got you.
You got you. Okay, yes, sir.
I was like that. I was like that pesky, get under my skin.
Yes, sir.
Walk with you to after a timeout. I'm gonna walk to your own basketball.
Yeah.
The face.
So kind of like Patrick Beverly a little bit.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
His heart was more than his talent, and that's how it was.
Okay, I understand. I like to play defense as well. Okay, my question for you, Brother John, is what has been you all's greatest trial in your marriage, and how have you overcome that?
Wow. Brother Josh, 29 years. You know, when your podcast says for better, for worse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's real. The Quran says, do men think that they'll be left alone or saying we believe it will not be tried? It's real. So as I look back, and my wife and I, we've been counseling couples for 15 years now. And I cringe when I hear some of the young brothers where their mind is, because I know where I was. And it's just, I cringe. And sometimes when I ask my wife, was I like this? She's like, yeah. You know, when you mix in sexism, when you mix in male chauvinism.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you mix in the black man as God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To an underdeveloped fruit of Islam. I'm a fruit, but I'm underdeveloped.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand.
And I'm in the ministry young. And the Million Man March, and said, we rolling. In the beginning, my greatest trial was understanding she's my helpmeet. And when I was young, I used to always want her to think like me.
Yeah. I understand.
Not understanding that her think the male is not like the female. But I'm looking for her to see the scriptures like I see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, we in study group, my wife breaking it down. I'm looking at her like, I don't see it like that. So we getting home. I'm like, where that? No, that ain't what it means. It means this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm belittling her intelligence.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Because I think I'm here.
Yeah.
Think. And so that it was almost like, and as I look back, I'm better than you. It was almost like she was my competition, not my helpmeet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that festered, even though I'm in the teachings, even though I got good support, I got Minister Kadir to look up to. In Delaware, I had Brother Bruce Sr., Muhammad, and his wife, Sister Linda. I had good examples, but I didn't see them in their home. Just saw them at the mosque.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mosque, I'm one thing. But at home, I'm working out my growth on her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And after 29 years, brother, it came to a head when I really hurt her by going outside my marriage.
Yes, sir.
And see, I can share it now because now I'm counseling other brothers. They calling me now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Weathered the storm through atonement. You know, we was this close. We was on the pit of the brink of fire. And we said to ourselves, wait a minute, we don't have no couples around here that survive. You know, all these divorces. So we said, look, we're going to try what the Amalus Furqan gave up. And through the process of atonement, by the grace of Allah, I fell more in love and committed to her. And it allowed her to see where I was, and it allowed her, by the grace of Allah, to say, I think I'm going to keep you around.
Praise.
So I can say that now because I've seen many stumble. And I remember watching people, Josh, you know, when you're in the labor young, you watch people stumble. And you're like, man, you know, Minister Kadir used to always tell me, Brother John, you know, learn from it, but your trial ain't gonna be their trial.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Everybody has their own trial.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's coming the way you least expect.
Yes, sir.
And so here I am. I'm riding high, But Allah said, yeah, we're going to see how strong you really are. And I wasn't as strong as I thought. But, you know, we survived that tempest. You know, we was going 60 miles an hour. Back wheel fell off, you know. But I went down the street. I grabbed the hubcap. I brought it back. I popped it back on. You know, but yeah, my biggest trial was hurting her. And that's, even my children. My children is cool until I hear them getting on my wife's nerves. Then I become like a savage. But, yeah, that was my biggest trial, brother. Me breaking my bond to her, but then being a man and owning it and winning her back and being an example for other brothers.
Praise be to Allah. My next, well, thank you all, and thank you for your transparency, sir. I'm coming to you, Sister Likesha, because I want to hear your greatest trial as well. But Brother John, speaking of infidelity, growing up in the nation, like you say, you watch other people stumble. Many of my brothers, we not my blood brothers, but my brothers in the ranks, you know, we be like, man, can we, when our trial comes, what are some steps that Black men can make to avoid falling into temptation when you are married?
Well, you know, brother, it's funny because when I look at mine, I've always had the mentality, brother, that I mean, we the original man. I ain't fall into nothing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It wasn't like, oh my God, who's that? Whoa, no. I take charge of my post.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And to make a long story short, you know, when I had a conversation with my wife, I mean, we sat down, and I owned it because the only guilty part was me, because ain't nobody catch me. You can't catch me. I'm gonna catch you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you know, when you are on your Siratul Mustaqim and you're a soldier, you're protected. But when you become bitter, because there was a point I became bitter. There were things going on. I became bitter, and I fell from the protection of Master Farah Muhammad to the point where I didn't really believe in him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the point, like, why? What am I doing this for? And see, when you get to that point, you gotta be careful.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know, in the world, on the internet, we call it the IDGAF.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when I counsel the young brothers, that's a dangerous place, because when you're at the IDGAF, Satan's right there with you.
Yes, sir.
And you don't care. You hurt, you bitter. You know, when we hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talk about his bitterness, you know, when the nation fell and people kicking his back in, he wanted to just leave Islam and just go back into music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm done. Or for others, you know, we go back to what we know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it getting high? Is it the streets? You know, so I would share with brothers, keep a mentor. Have a brother or sister in your mom's that can call you up and cuss you out when you need to be cussed out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got a lot of brothers today, this new generation, I don't want nobody in my business. You don't have no business.
Yes, sir. Yes,
this is Allah's daughter.
Yes, sir.
You know, she's my wife for 29 years. The FOI, this is your sister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think a lot that I had Minister Kadir Muhammad, Minister Michael, Brother Lawrence. I have brothers, Minister Hafiz, may Allah be pleased with him, who can literally get on the phone, Brother Josh, and give it to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I know they love me. So I could shake and budge, but they gave me what I had to do. And Minister Kadir, may Allah be pleased with him, who's still alive, and our brother in DC, just raw. Yes, and when you give it raw, he break you down, but he's breaking you down to build you up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think he was given the name Kadir. But I would, to all the young brothers, when you get married young, have a couple that you can talk to, somebody who you can relate to, because that's needed. It's truly needed, Brother Josh.
Praise be to Allah. Wonderful. Okay, and I'm Sister Likesha, I'm coming to you. I just want to read some of the comments. Sister LaPria Young wants to know, does this couple have a book out? Do you all have a book?
No, but we need to write one.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, you do. And if you all do, can you please break it on the People's Podcast? I would love for you all to come back over here and let us help promote the book. Sister Nafisa says she has a question for Sister Likesha. What is the most important thing that you've learned throughout your almost 30 years of marriage? And what advice do you have for newlyweds or couples who are undergoing trial?
Hmm. I would say it's like a cliche, but it's true. I would say that trials purify and patience is a virtue. I mean, because when you say I do, you have to have in your mind there is no back door.
Mm.
You made a commitment before Allah. You have to make your word bond. And as long as the two are willing to work and put the work in, you stay committed. You stay committed. There is no other options. You go through the fire and you work it out. You move hell and high water. And what was most instrumental in my healing, because when this happened, it was like stepping on a landmine. So I felt like what was no more. Everything I knew to be true about the marriage was no more. So figuratively, I felt like there were millions of pieces around me. And I tried to steer clear of people that say, oh, just leave them. Oh, I wouldn't take that. You don't know what you'll do until you put in that situation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I say
ma'am.
it all the time. I would never put up with that. Never say never. So I clung to sisters that would just give me wisdom on what I can do now. I have all of these millions of pieces around me. I need help picking them up. Mm-hmm. So I would say prayer. Minister Ishmael, I listened to How to Mend a Broken Heart, was very instrumental in my healing. And he said, if you love him, he loves you. Both of you are willing to work it out. Save your marriage. Save your marriage. And that's what rung in my head. And it was also a trial for me to continue to move forward because pain causes you to stay still.
Yes, ma'am.
You always want to reach back. So that was hard because it's like everything you want to relate to the affair, you didn't take the trash out, you mad. It's because
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. That's a good point. My husband reminded me when I was explaining to him, one of the lessons I learned, Allah tries us by what we love the most.
Yes, ma'am.
So my prayer life wasn't strong when I first came in. I was young. I was a young mother. I experienced a lot of firsts, not to make excuses, but this is my truth.
Yes, ma'am.
I was stretched thin, so my prayer life wasn't as strong. So my husband became my source of spirituality. My husband was my God. So I looked to him as this big, great entity that could never sin, who could never fall. And I know now that was a grave error on my part.
Yes, ma'am.
So when this happened, it's like, it was very, very catastrophic and devastating. So you never want to put your husband or your significant other above Allah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So that was a big lesson. So I learned from that naturally.
Okay.
So, and with Sister Nafisa, the second part of that question, I would say just work on you. Work on you. Let me back up. Newlyweds, or if you're just getting married, I would say, don't hide them from the men in your family.
Yes.
Let the men talk to your future husband. Because they can extract certain emotions. Men know how to talk to men.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
They can extract certain emotions that maybe didn't come out during the courtship.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's cowardice, if it is, I don't know, fear. Yeah. You know what I mean? So all of that will come out. So run it past the men in your family. And also work on you. Nourish and cultivate your spirituality. Because that's what you're less likely to go into the marriage looking for your husband to make you whole. That's reserved for Allah. You want to have some type of inner happiness before you go into a marriage.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's very, very key.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, great. I'm coming back to you, Brother John. And I just wanted to follow up with that. I bear witness with some of the sisters. I was an athlete like Brother John, so I've met a couple sisters, and I would never bring them around the women in my family because of that, because I didn't want them to start to pick them apart or be like, we love her, or get attached. Like, nope, you can't be my sister. You damn straight be my mama. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine the brother side, but for the sisters, they already know you're not beating his sisters, you're not meeting his moms, because he don't play like that. Because I don't want them, they're gonna find something and be like, nah, she ain't, or nah, she is. No, I don't have to, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. Sister Pamela K says, okay, we coming to that. Sister Kathy Brown says, yes, bring it real, all in love. So maybe Sister Kathy Brown. Sister Maria Muhammad, assalamu alaikum. Sister Portia X Bellamy, love the transparency. All praise due to Allah. These are wonderful questions and conversations about the real deal of marriage. Sister Jewel, that's right, ma'am. Sister Kathy Brown. Okay, a lot of comments. Sister Zaina, oh Lord. Sister Shahidi, or just send him to Brother John. Okay, a lot of people just showing you all a lot of love. Okay, excellent. I'm coming to you, Brother John. What has been your greatest joy in marriage?
Greatest joy, I would say, beloved, I walk with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, man. Brother, our life is the nation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember milestones in our marriage based on Savior's Days. I mean, for years, our only vacation was Savior's Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we always drove because, I had my children all in the 90s, and I think we just started flying to Chicago. But for 20 years, we drove.
Right.
Because we had children, and that was, I wasn't making a lot of money, but that was our vacation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taken me all over the world. I'm blessed to be able to say I have not, since I got my ex, since 1991, I have not missed a Savior's Day. Physically. I've not missed a Day of Atonement. I went to Africa in 94. I was in Jamaica.
Yes, sir.
Wherever the minister went, we were there.
Praise be to Allah.
And so our memories are memories of traveling in the mission. And so thank Allah for grandmothers and extended family who can watch the children. But that's my greatest joy, man. And, working with our young people. And I found, my purpose in terms of working with the youth. My organization is called GANG, Going After the Next Generation, which allows me to get in places as a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad under Minister Farrakhan without that title.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We still in there. They know who we are. I come in suited and booted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My greatest joy is traveling with my wife in the mission with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and watching my children grow into beautiful human beings that they are, and just seeing young people's face light up when truth hits them. I said, those are my three greatest in that order.
Praise
Definitely Islam has taken me to places I would never have been in California. I'm going to Memphis. I would have been in Miami. We don't go to Detroit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We don't go to Detroit. But that's what happens when you're with Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. And I'm coming to you, Sister Likesha. I just want to thank you all for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family, and for helping to establish the nation and Islam in the wilderness of North America. I want to thank you all on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. Brother Joseph, Assalamu alaikum family. So many people just showing you all love. Yolanda Clark, speaking your truth. Thank you for your honesty and candor. Love these two. Muta Pelham. She's putting your heart for Sister Keisha. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Muta Pelham. Sister Muriel. Just so many people just showing love to you all. Praise be to Allah. My next question for you, Sister Likesha, what is your greatest joy, and what has it been in marriage?
Okay. Naturally marrying the love of my life and bearing 4 beautiful children.
Praise be to Allah.
Seeing the birth of my granddaughter, my one and only granddaughter.
Okay.
But definitely traveling out of the country for the first time together. We were together. We were blessed to visit Accra, Ghana, Savior's Day in 1994. And that was the first time I ever got on a plane. And also, that was the first time I ever met the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So that was life-changing for me, for us.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And that Savior's Day means a lot to me and my siblings because we weren't there, of course, but my grandmother, may Allah be pleased, was there, and she was on the video footage in the audience, and so people would send us lectures like, "Oh," so I remember the year like 1990. Oh, it's my grandma in the audience watching the minister. So I'm glad you all got to go to Ghana and experience that, and I'm glad you got to meet the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Brother John, speaking of child witnessing the children being born, as a man, do you stand in the are you in the waiting room? Or are you in the room with your wife while she's giving birth? And how did that personally impact you?
Wow. It's funny, beloved. All of my children were born on special events. My first daughter was born Savior's Day in 91. She was actually born the day after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birthday, October 8th. I was in Chicago. And to show you, family, sometimes, in life, there's, in the alteration of the night and the day, there's signs. Her mother was excited to see our first daughter, her first granddaughter.
Yes, sir.
I was in Chicago, the Savior's Day, and I had my white FY uniform on. And when I came home the next day and went to the hospital to see the birth of my daughter, her mother was passing away. Her mother never got a chance to see any of our children. So Allah took one, but He gave us another.
Praise be to
I
Allah.
wasn't there for her.
Yes, sir.
The second one, I think I was there. Was I there?
Yeah.
Because I understood the teaching, brother. We had a game. We was playing 98.7 Kiss FM. We was playing a basketball game, Monster number 25.
Okay.
Against one of the radio stations.
Yes,
the night she gave birth. So this time I go to the hospital with my shorts. I got my gear on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I was a pit bull, brother. I'm not letting them vaccinate my babies. I'm looking at the nurses and the doctor like, you take my daughter and put her on my wife's breast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because they like to take the children out for a minute. No, you're not taking my daughter nowhere.
Yes, sir.
Put her right back here. And we worry about all that other stuff later. Because, my children were vaccinated. So I know how this enemy works.
Yes, sir.
Was I there for Amina? I don't know. Was I there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was there for Amina. For my sweet Amina, I was there for her. After watching Roots, I realized we really shouldn't be there, brother. Because in true, brothers, man, you don't want to take away from the mystery of the Black woman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to be there, but not be there, bro. I'm not trying to be all up under the placenta and all that.
Sir. Oh, yeah.
Do all that, because then you may start thinking different.
Yes, sir.
But no, it's a blessing that my wife was able to give birth to 4. And my son Basir, I was there for him. And but I was there but not there. I was near her head.
Yes.
In her ear. I wasn't all the way down by the feet and all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The day after your birthday.
And it was the day after my birthday too. So I have a Savior's Day baby, I have a Father's Day baby, I have a New Year's baby, and I have a birthday baby.
Praise be to Allah. All right, that's Sister Likesha. How has becoming a grandmother impacted you?
I don't even know how to describe it.
Yes, ma'am.
Elation, overwhelming happiness. I've always heard stories about the love of a grandchild. You think you love your children, but when your grandchildren are born, it's on a whole nother level that you really can't put into words. To watch your baby who you gave birth to have a baby.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And to see her duplicated again, it's just the joy of my life. She's the world. She's the world. And she's brilliant. She's smart.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, and plus it's fun being a grandparent. I feel like it's almost like a do-over. You can be a parent without the pressure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because when it's, when you had your fill, it's like, okay, time to go back to mommy. I'm having a good time. She's almost 7 years old. I'm having a good time.
Praise be to Allah. And my sister Val says yes, because she's a grandmother now. To Khadija Davis, Walaikum Salam, and a lot of people just sending their love. Sister Shahidi I'm going to butcher your names. I don't care. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. So Shahidi Kareem says, I'll start with you, Brother John. How do you keep your duties as a spouse when you had children early in your marriage?
Well, family, in a marriage, you're going to go through phases. When we talk to couples, the initial phase is your lovers because it's just you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then the second phase, which comes from being lovers, is children.
Yes, sir.
So you go from lovers to parents. Then once the babies are here, you go from parents to business partners. It's about putting food on that table, managing your money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brothers, you can't be out here buying $400-$500 suits, and you got babies at home to feed, brother.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
gotta prioritize now. Stop being like spoiled brats when you get married.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And then you go from lovers, from parents to business partners. Then what we're experiencing, our children are grown. Now we're back to lovers.
Praise be to
So understanding where you are, and again, having support. Don't close your home to advice. And some brothers, we do that. I don't want nobody knowing what's going on in my house. Why not? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? So, mismanagement of funds, Brother Joshua, is real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Particularly when children come. But I was blessed and I had good training with your father and others. Being frugal, my children would laugh at me because they would see me with undershirts with holes in them. And I would say, I ain't throwing away my undershirts till y'all graduate until they hit certain milestones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got family to feed.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't have that problem. But some of us in today's world, man, we just so reckless with money.
Yes, sir.
Why are you raising your family, brother? But again, that's why it's important to make your FOI classes and your MGT classes, but also have mentors that can help you, man. In case of disorder, we're supposed to give the alarm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
A lot of our households are in disorder, and we don't give the alarm because of pride.
Praise be to Allah.
So as you go through that phase, Shahadi, may Allah bless you to get with like-minded women and get with those women who are successful and who've managed that from lovers to parents to business partners. It doesn't mean you don't have love. It just means that when you're parents and business partners, that takes priority.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you do that properly, you'll never lose your love. But when you don't do that parenting properly, when you don't do that, being a business partner, handling your money properly, man, it's hard for the love to be where it should be.
Yes, sir. Okay, excellent. My question for you, Sis Likesha, is what do you do for fun as a couple, and what do you do for fun alone time?
As a couple, we love music. We love to dance.
Okay.
Love going to shows together, movies. I mean, we're in a different time now, so we have to be real creative.
Yes, ma'am.
Created here in the home.
Yes, ma'am.
But alone, I'm really short on alone time, but
yes, sir.
So I would say just relaxing in front of the house in the chair, reading, listening to music. That's it.
Okay, wonderful. And for you, Brother John, how has the quarantine affected your relationship, and what do you do for fun together and separate?
Wow, it's funny, brother, because now that we are empty nesters, I have to relearn my wife. We've been pushing this program, and growing up in Islam, unfortunately, we were taught it's the nation first. God first, nation, and family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's how we came up.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar.
We were wrong. We were wrong. As the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan taught us, is God, family, nation.
Praise be to Allah. Yes,
but,
sir.
I knew my wife, but didn't know her. So I have to relearn her. She's we get 29 years in, but sometimes you go so hard in your nation, you look up and my wife is, wow, So just the last 2 years, just learning her. And now with COVID, it's been a blessing because 2 of my children are home from college and we were able to pray together, study together, have study group, and they have their own minds and they have their own, it's beautiful just to hear them express the wisdom. And And I'm at a point now where I can hear them without judging them, you know.
Yes, sir.
25
Yes, sir.
years ago, I want them to break it down like me, supreme wisdom.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
Yes, sir. Yes,
no,
sir.
they're gonna break it down the way they break it down. So
Yes,
COVID
sir.
has been a blessing for me because my wife does hospice care, so she's ground zero. So shout out to the first responders.
Shout out, praise be to Allah. We
So she
appreciate
really
you.
hasn't been able to shelter in place because she still got to do what she do at work and put on all that PPE and all that good stuff. But you know, I try to make home as peaceful for her. But it's been a blessing. I've able to create. I started a real estate company by the grace of Allah during COVID.
Praise be to Allah.
Because I always wanted to do it, but my other job in the nation was always my excuse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now I'm home. And so I got my little business cards, man. So I'm gonna be flipping houses in a few minutes.
Praise be to Allah. And once again, if you are everyone, we have sponsors on our interviews. If you ever want us to promote your businesses, just let us know. We'll make sure we set that up.
Yes,
Sister Shahidi Kareem says, praise be to Allah. Timothy Leon, our praise be to Allah. Sister Zaina says they like going on vacation without their children. Brother Sean says, great episode, taking nothing from any other, of course. Kamira Mumin, beautiful, thank you. Sandra, assalamu alaikum. A lot of people just showing you our love. Sister Zaina wants to know, how did it feel giving birth to your first chocolate baby?
Zaina, it was a blessing. I thank Allah for you, Zaina.
Praise be to Allah. Okay.
I always call her my little Hershey kiss.
Thank you for that, Sister Zaina, for making me go off my questions to answer that. All right, Brother John, my next question for you is, what advice would you give to future fathers?
Get the series, How to Give Birth to a God. All of you who are not married and don't have children, that should be in your library first. I recommend that you don't. If it's up to me, it'd be a law that we do not give birth to any children until we see that series. Because Joshua, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in Study Guide 16, we are about the business of grafting ourselves back into God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So part of that is choosing a mate who believes and then bringing forth children with the mind of Master Farad Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
So this is what we have to do. We should not be making babies by mistake. We should produce, and we should be producing children on purpose. Meaning every time, black man, you emit the issue of life, your mind should be on Allah and his Christ. You know, so Yaqub, he killed the darker, saved the lighter, married the lighter onto the lighter to produce devil. We got to go in reverse, where we have children of faith, we marry our children into faith. They have children in faith, we marry them into faith, and that's how we grow back into being God. So we got to get married on purpose, we got to get pregnant on purpose, and we got to produce children with a purpose so they grow with a predetermined idea. Those of us who was Negroes first and had children, y'all shouldn't be doing it like we doing it, little brothers. If you're going to be God and get your MGT and produce gods and produce it with a determined idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. All right. And Sister Lakeisha, what advice would you give to future mothers?
Similar to my husband, you definitely want to choose wisely, settle down to a good choice, a good provider, one who will create the environment you need to make a good life for you and your children. Also, certain things is just not on the table. You know, you want to, thank you, honey. You know, you want to create an environment to create a God. So just very similar to what my husband said.
And leave the lost founds alone, black man.
Yes, sir.
We want to knock a lost found over the head, drag her to the mosque, and when she wake up, she MGT. Brother, it don't work, brother.
Yes, yes.
Mosque, man.
Yeah,
Get your believer, stop playing.
Yeah, he don't understand the process of giving birth to a God. He don't know that what he's saying, or she, right? That word, spirit, you know, all of that is all in your makeup, and that's going down into your children, and you wonder why when they're born, they have issues. That's real. That's a reality. So that's what I mean about creating an environment conducive to giving birth to a God.
And Brother Josh, that's why we created single socials here in the Delaware Valley.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
they're saying you want for your brother what you want for yourself. But I just changed one word. I want for my brothers what I have for myself. I have a beautiful queen. We went through the trial. So we create single socials because, Josh, it's unfair to tell a brother, you need to get married, soldier. But then we come out the other side of our mouth and say, don't look at the MGT.
Yeah.
You need to get married, but don't look at the sisters. You need to get, well, what is he supposed to do if we're not going to create environments for them to meet? So when we don't do that, then the front door post becomes a lust post. So a single brother on front door post, now he's lusting at all the sisters going to the car. Brothers, we need to stop that. If you want the brothers and sisters to get married, make sure you have single socials for them to, so that when the, you know, when nature takes its course, they got somewhere to go. Even if they don't want to be married, they know a single social's coming up next month.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and I would tell the brothers, man, you don't gotta want to get married, just come. And one of the brothers who's married now, he didn't want to go. We dragged him to the single social.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He wanted a meeting, he met his queen, and they still married. So I would encourage all of us to find single socials. And if you don't have one in your area, Allah's telling you to create them. But it's not fair to the young brothers and sisters to tell them they got to get married. But those of us who know better don't produce and create the environment for them to meet that FOI, that MGT. That's not fair to them. Then we kick their back in when they get a lost found. When they get that, they've been in the mosque 12 years. What you expect them to do?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One single social in 12 years, and then you get married, but Fuquan got Shaniqua, the hairdresser down the street. Come on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. You all getting a lot of comments. Thank you all
for what your father does too to help married couples, brother. He's really helping.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. People are saying yes. Praise be to Allah. Thank you all. Teach Brother John. Teachers Likesha, you go, sis. You know, y'all say it or whatever. I want to thank you all for coming on the People's Podcast. This has been a true honor. I learned so much about you all. I learned so much for motivation for myself moving forward, trying to get married in the future and things of that nature. People seem to be inspired, so you all have given us information as well as inspiration. I thank you all very much. Man, I'm glad I got to meet you all through the podcast, and I look forward to inshallah, if this quarantine ever becomes over, seeing you all in person.
Thank you,
Brother
having
Josh.
us,
We thank Allah for you, brother. Remember, as I tell the young brothers, your sperm is sacred.
Yes, sir.
I tell the young brothers, man, your sperm is sacred.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, protect it. And you know, in the world we live in right now, man, they pulling at us. They can't get the minister, so they want to come after the remnant of his seed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We just gotta stay strong, man. We fighting for Islam, y'all.
Yes, sir.
And we will surely win. And for our married couples, stay committed. As the minister said, divorce is a threat to national security. So may Allah bless any of you that are having any struggles, any trials. May Allah bless you. We said anything that can help you, because when Allah puts you in a position to help, we should help. So we hopefully we said something that can inspire those who are married and help those who want to get married to marry into faith, so we can graft ourselves back into God.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Well, thank you all very much for coming on, and thank you all for watching. It's been my honor. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, sir.